Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Straight Talk No BS. It's your girl Chris,
And Landria?
and today we're gonna chit chat about a couple of things as we always do. But first, girl, I gotta tell you what happened to me this week
Well,
that I found, like just a little off-putting. So I'm not gonna tell you where I was or who
hmm
exactly I was talking to. Maybe later, I'll tell you later names.
hmm
But we were having a conversation and I wasn't really like paying attention, I'm just still on the phone listening to the conversation go on. And, you know, one of the person said, something like, "Oh, those unvaccinated fools are messing it up for everybody, for all of us."
hmm
So just me hearing that little sprinkle of negativity, I turned like, what the hell did you just say? Like, what? Why would you say something like that? Like, you
hmm
don't know what my status is
hmm
or what anybody else's status is. Like, why would you just say that out loud like that? So even if that's how you really felt, like you don't even know my status, like at least you would try to find out first, right? Before you start attacking that side of the world,
I agree.
right? And I had to educate a lot of people in the last like few weeks that I've been quote unquote outside, because I've been outside a little bit this summer, girl.
Hmm
But
Well, yeah.
so but I had to educate some of these people, because for me, the vaccinated people are constantly like bullying the people who are unvaccinated, and I find it very unfair. And the main reason I find it very unfair, and this is what I explained to this person, is the fact that it's a whole melting pot of messing it up for all of us, okay? And
hmm
one of the main thing that's messing it up is the fact that you have the vaccinated people who are walking around without their masks, thinking that they are immune or immortal to this virus, okay? Which they are not. They are the ones that can get COVID still, okay, and not
hmm
have any symptoms of COVID. So now you can have it, not feel sick at all, and you're walking around without a mask on, giving it to other people and spreading it to other people who don't wear their masks either. Then you have the people who say they're vaccinated, but they're really
True.
not wearing their masks either.
hmm
Because
hmm
what? There's stores out here saying if you're vaccinated, you can walk into the store. How do you know if I'm vaccinated or not? Do I look different? Do I
hmm
smell different? Like, how would you know? You're not asking me for my card. How do you know?
That's true too.
And then you have the people who, like me, who wear my mask everywhere I go, whether I'm indoor or outdoors, because if I'm outdoors and you're right next to me, I need my mask on. You're not 6 feet away.
Which
and
is true.
people and people are losing that 6 feet away mentality more and more and more and more. We're outside, quote unquote. So it's a melting pot of a lot of different people, a lot of different things, a lot of different variables that are ruining it for everybody. We have to just respect each other as humans. That's already difficult for us to do already.
hmm
Hence why there's like racism and prejudice and politics and religion. It's already separated by all those other things. And here we are having a new thing now, vaccine,
To separate everyone.
to divide and separate everyone again. So it's unfortunate that this is happening, but I'm happy that I'm in that seat where I can just simply educate people, because I had to educate him. Once I told him all of this, he was like, "Yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right. I didn't even think about it that way." Yeah,
Well, that's what I was going to say as well. There's so much misinformation going on, and everyone's just quick to just want to harbor point fingers to anybody, to
absolutely.
anyone, any group. That's what's going on. There's so much miscommunication, and the people who have been vaccinated, they're still getting COVID-19. They're still getting the virus a second time. So getting the vaccine doesn't stop you. It doesn't prevent you from getting it. There's so many
Oh,
people that's already had the virus, got their vaccination shots, and now have been exposed again to it a second time, and with hospital stage where they're back in the hospital. So it's
right.
so much miscommunication as far as them saying get the shot. It will prevent you from actually being admitted to the hospital, to get the shot, and you know it's confusing. I know people firsthand who have lost family members, who
Mhm.
have been exposed a second time, who
Mhm.
have been in the hospital on both times, So for the person you were speaking to, I'm glad you did have to educate him. He needed to be educated. It seems like he has had his head somewhere and has not listened to the news. He, you know, he, everyone's going to blame everyone. You have to stay true to
Uh,
what you want to do. Hmm?
Not me, girl. I blame the media.
It's
That's
the
another topic.
media. It's the media. It's so many conspiracy theories going around that will drive you crazy. It's a
I'm
bunch of
just,
conspiracy theories.
I am just a person of logic.
I
And
agree.
I wish sometimes that I could just shake it off, girl. I just wish sometimes I could just block it out
Hmm.
because it really just like it could stop me from taking a step forward. Like I just can't move or function if it doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
And
agree.
something just doesn't feel right and I'm just not ready to do it yet. Not saying I never will. I'm just saying not yet.
And you shouldn't have to be forced. When you're ready, you'll do it.
Right.
But
Like, why do I have to be forced?
you
Like,
shouldn't have to be. No, listen. You shouldn't have to be forced. Those who want to attack, yes, if you want to, you don't have to educate them. But people are going to feel how they feel. That's one thing we can't control. You know that.
right.
But you're in charge of yourself, your family. You make decisions that you feel is best for your family.
Yeah,
His
but now
decision
they're
may
making it
be,
for you, Len. Now
I'm
they're making
sorry.
now they're
Well,
making it for
yes.
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Telling you you can't go to school if you're not vaccinated. Now, businesses are saying you can't return back to work unless you're vaccinated. And if you're not vaccinated, then you have to get a test every day or once a week or something like that. Really?
I think everyone is still afraid. That's what I feel. I think
Absolutely.
everyone is afraid. Everyone's
I
trying to point fingers. Everyone's just trying to, just find an explanation for what's going on. That's what I believe. I believe everyone's afraid. I believe that they don't know exactly what is going on. One minute it seems as if everything is under control, and then here comes, something else. Now they have to doubt her. I
If
think right
everybody
now,
was afraid, everybody would have a mask on. Everybody's not afraid.
no, listen, it will. Once it starts spiking, which it is, and you already see how certain states, what is it, Atlanta? Everyone
Mhm.
now is mandatory you have to wear your mask. Florida's going to be next. New York's going to be next. Once you see that domino effect where it's going to trickle over to every state, then it's going to start spiking. And then, because right now, no one's talking about the numbers. No one's talking about, the spikes and how many is hospitalized. I mean, you haven't heard too much. You hear little whispers, but you're not hearing too much about it because they
Mm.
don't want to cause a panic. But once you start seeing every state now making it mandatory to wear your mask, then you already know what the next step is going to be, another shutdown.
Hmm.
That's what's going to happen next. Just keep watching these states.
We'll
Atlanta's
see.
ready for mask. Florida right now is spiking. New
Yep.
York is spiking. And then was it Louisiana as well that's spiking? They said that it was like 20,000 or something over a weekend or something
Louisiana,
like that. I saw in the news. Or Louisiana, one
New
of them.
Orleans. I believe it.
Right.
I believe
So
New
you
Orleans.
watch. Once you get half of these states that's going to start spiking in numbers that they can't control, they can have no other choice than to do a shutdown. Or these same people out here that's pointing fingers to the unvaccinated ones, they haven't experienced anything that's hit him for them. Nobody close to them has probably been affected. They've never seen, no one's probably passed or something like that. And that's why their mentality is the way it is. That's fine.
Yeah, you know, I didn't even think of that either, because
Yeah, but
that's
that's what it is.
definitely.
That's where it's coming. The ignorance is coming from that. That's where it's coming from.
Mhm.
So my mom, she had it. She was in the hospital for what, 4 months. She lives in an assisted living quarters, and at the time, they have traveling nurses. So one of the nurses, well, two of the nurses that had gone to other assisted living quarters had tested positive. The woman, the director that was in charge of that facility, had reached out to government officials to say, hey, we have two women here that have tested positive, and their instructions were if they're not showing any symptoms, that's okay. They can still go ahead and do their job. Well, within a week and a half, what happened? Everyone at my mother's assisted living quarters, everyone tested positive and ended up in the hospital.
Of
My
course.
mother was in the hospital for 4 months.
Wow.
4 months behind that. They could have prevented it, right?
Mhm.
They could have taken action. They could have said, you know what, remove these traveling nurses out of the rotation. They
Yep.
could have. But then what happens? Then it then be a matter of them admitting there's something wrong. My mother's in the hospital for 4 months, touch and go
Mhm.
behind it.
But this is what's gonna happen when we go back to work. When
Yeah,
you're, if this is what's gonna happen, you're gonna be in a
I know.
building with other people who,
Mm-hmm.
you know, are what exactly what I said, a melting pot of people who a don't even believe in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, no mask, don't care, no
I think
vaccine, don't
that,
care.
right.
Like,
I agree. I think that you have to do your due diligence. Every family, every individual has to do their due diligence to keep their family safe.
absolutely.
Whatever your belief is, whatever you believe, whether it be get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated, whatever it is, that I feel that you have to do what's right for your family and stand by it. That's your position. That's it.
Yeah.
And stand by it.
So
That's how I
yeah,
feel.
girl, that's exactly.
I'm
I
so
just wanted to
sorry
tell
you
you
had to
what
go
happened
through
to
that
me.
though.
Huh?
I'm so sorry you had to go through that, but you did handle it, quite well, I must say.
Well, thank you.
So
I'm
that's a
very
good
proud
thing.
of myself too, how I handle it.
Exactly. Exactly. That's very good. I'm
Yeah.
very pleased about that. But it
Yeah.
happens. Don't let people's ignorance and their energy affect you.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank
do
you.
it. Don't do it.
Yes.
Mm-mm. So what are we going to talk about
So
today? Hmm?
yeah, I was about to ask you, girl, what's today's topic gonna
You
be
know
about?
what interests me today? Well, what interests me the other day, I saw on Instagram is this show. What is it called? Put a ring on it. And I believe I
Oh
saw it
yeah.
on Shade Room. I came across it by accident because
Uh-huh.
I'm not on social media that much. But anyway, I came across it on the Shade Room where I forget the people's names, but I believe the third party involved, her name was Kara. But the situation was they're on this show called Put a Ring on It, where these couples, I believe, have been together for a very long time. I believe this couple might have been about 10 years or longer. And they were trying to decide if they should remain together. So the purpose of the show is to, I guess, figure out if you want to remain in your relationship or not. And the gentleman, he is supposed to go out on different dates with other women to decide how strong his relationship is, if he wants to stay with his girlfriend or not, if they're going to take the next step and get married. And I believe this is like the fourth. Well, he's been out with this one particular young lady. I believe her name is Kara, Kiara, something with a K. But instead of him rotating or dating various women on the show, he continues to date this one woman. And what I saw in the shade room was it was his fourth date, and this woman now is asking him, like, where are we going from here? Because obviously he must like it because they've been on 4 dates. And every other couple there is looking at him like, what are you doing? It's obvious he has some type of connection to this young lady or attraction. I would say not connection, but attraction to her.
Mhm. Mhm.
So during the conversation, she asks him, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to tell, your girlfriend about us? And he's like, well, I want to try to be honest as possible. I like you. And then she was like, well, when are you going to talk to her? I mean, after all, we slept together. And he had the dumb look in his face, like, oh, he did that, oh, like that grunt, like you weren't supposed to say that.
Mhm.
So when I saw that, I thought I felt sorry for the girlfriend, but also to the point of this is the question I have. This is the question that came to my mind was, at what point do we as women decide time is up? Because in this case here, they've been together, it was more than 10 years. You are now on a reality show with your partner that you are telling the world you love.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
you're on this reality show with your partner, and your partner is choosing to go on 4 dates with another woman, the same woman. And she's not over yet, but her boyfriend has been intimate with this woman in a matter of 4 dates. So where does your relationship go from there? If he says to this woman, "No, I don't want to be with you. I decided to be with my girl," his girl's been embarrassed on national TV that he slept with another woman.
Mhm.
I mean, I know that the show itself, it encourages, or not even encourages, but yeah, encourages the man to go on dates with other women just to see how they feel and whatnot. But doesn't encourage your man to go out there and sleep with another woman. Like, God damn, you're on national TV. You couldn't keep it together just for that period of time, which made me think, you're like, dang, has he done it before?
Mhm.
What has she gone through the last decade plus with him, showing her devotion and love for him? Is he worth you even loving? Do you want to do another 10 years with him?
I
Is
mean,
he going to continue to cheat? Like, wow. I'm sorry for asking all these questions, but for me, it's like, dang, where are the good men out there that just want to court you? And where are they? Because I feel so sorry sometimes for these women, and I don't want to make it seem like it's a man's fault altogether. It's not, because women have a choice to leave. We have a choice to leave, but we love with our hearts. We're emotionally attached, so we stay. It happens. It happens. But at what point do we, I don't know, say enough? What happens if she says another 5 years and this man puts a ring on her finger, and 5 years later they're still not married? Now you got 15 years in, and then you got 20 years in. Like, come on, is he really worth it? Or is it that you've already spent so much time with him that you now feel to yourself, well, this is all I can do. I don't want to start over. Because we get in that trap sometimes as women. As women, we get in that little trap, like, you know what? I've already invested 8 years. Let me just try to stick it out. Things will get better. I've already invested 10 years, 2 kids. So, you know what? Let me stick it out because things will get better. And then here he comes
true,
15 years
true.
in, three
Mhm.
kids. You know, okay, you know what? I'm already got 15 years in. Where am I going? We might as well just stick it through. You pretty much just kind of like throwing your life away for a what if in the
Yeah.
hopes of this man loving you.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what that's what love is.
Is it?
Literally what love is.
Is it?
Yeah, yes.
That ain't
How do you
love.
know? But you don't. No one really knows. Like no one. One of my friends that's married right now, she loves her husband, got 2 kids with him. You know, been together forever, forever, been together forever. You know, but she always said like, if he cheats, I'm out. But it's the idea that she said if he cheats, like she's not naive to that fact that it's a possibility, but she doesn't know. But she still loves him. She still loves him for who he is now. But that's what love is. You don't know. I
No,
think marriage is. You can't foresee the next 50 years of your life.
no, but listen, there's got to be some things that are deal breakers.
Of course.
Even though, okay. So my question is this: how long should a couple be together before the man decides he wants to marry you? How
I
long? Because
I I thought I honestly feel like that's up to that relationship. There's people that I know that got that been together for 6 months and got married.
yeah,
That's their relationship. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know people that have
I
been
this,
together
this is true.
15 years. 15 years have been together and then they got married. I know people that got married in
No,
3 years. Like
no.
they're
Did he?
all in love and happy as hell. All of
I
them.
did. I. This is what I feel, and you and I have talked about it. This is
Uh-huh.
what there are some men out there that know exactly who they want, what they want. And if a woman is marriage material and they see them as their future, they include that woman in their future. This is my wife, this is my woman. And they love her to the world, they love her to the end of the world. Then there are men out there that love the idea of having a woman that does everything for them, makes them feel important, makes them feel complete, someone they can lean on, but they feel there's something missing. And that something missing is what pulls them to the streets to look for that someone to fill that void. I believe that. I believe that's also why men stay in relationships for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, where the woman is ready to get married and start a family. And he's saying, I don't know, let's wait this way and that way, is because he probably thinks he's missing out on something. He probably thinks there's something out there more than what she has to offer. And I also believe that when they do get married at that 10-year mark, 15-year mark, it's primarily because at that point nobody else wants them. But because she's invested so much time, or she's the longest one that's been around, is why he says, okay, let's get married now. Not because it's love, it's because she's the only one that's stuck around the longest. That's what
I
I
mean,
believe.
that's not every relationship. That's not
No,
every
I'm not saying
person.
that's every relationship. Absolutely not. It's not every relationship. I feel that men know. Listen, when I met my ex-husband, we dated for a short time. He knew he wanted to get married. We got married. We were married in less than a year. We were dating, married. Here comes my son. Marriage didn't work out. Sometimes things happen, but he knew. He knew he wanted to marry me. He knew. Now, prior to me, he had been in a long relationship. He had been in a long relationship with another young lady for maybe, I think, 6 to 8 years or something like that, and didn't. Thought never crossed his mind. I know of another situation where this particular gentleman had been dating his high school sweetheart for years, like 2 decades. And, actually at that point, it was like for like 10 years. And she wanted to get married. And he was like, I'm not ready right now. And the reason why he told me out of his own mouth he wasn't ready is because he knew, he has felt like, I haven't really explored it. I haven't really seen what else is out there. And when he did eventually marry her, he married her because, in his words, she was a good girl. Was the reason why he got married.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with love. It had to do with, you know what? I know my wife is decent. She's going to keep a good home. She knows how to keep a home, keep the kids. She knows how to cook, clean, nurture me, be there for me. I know she's a keeper. She's not going to stray. Most men would marry that woman, but who they really want to be with is the one that keeps them hot and heavy, and keeps that flame going. It's who they desire to be with. But most times those women don't want them because they see the flaws in their behavior, or they see how they probably treat the woman they're with, is why they never really want them. But that's what I believe. I believe there are men out there that know exactly what they want. They know who they want to have children with. They know who they want to marry. They know if they're going to be a good man to this woman. If they know they're not going to be a good man to this woman, I believe men know, and I believe men pick and choose who they want to be respectful to, who they want to be loyal to, who they want to be, treat like a queen. I believe that. I believe men know,
I
and they
agree.
act right for the woman that they feel is worthy, which is
Absolutely.
unfair. Right, I believe it's very unfair because along the way,
Why?
if you're not ready for what the woman you're with is offering you or wants from you, don't string her along and waste her time. Let her go and find someone that can treat her how she wants to be treated. It may be a little upsetting for her for a brief moment, but let her go. Don't
Mm-hmm.
string her along knowing that ultimately you don't want to be with her. And if someone came along that swept you off your feet, you would dump her like a hot potato. Let her go.
And
Let
vice
her go.
versa.
And vice versa. Yes, and vice versa. And vice versa. Let those people go to find exactly what they need to be happy. And you shouldn't take that from them. I believe that's very unfair to do that. Don't take that from them. Because what happens is that people see the potential in the person they're with. They see the potential, they see the worthiness, they see how good the person is, and they know that person's a good catch for somebody else. They know somebody would scoop that female up or scoop that man up in a heartbeat. They know that. but they mistreat that person. I don't know why, because they're just seeking something else to fill a void.
I don't think they know. I think they feel like their position is irreplaceable, and that's why they act like that. Because
And, well, you know
men
what? And
or women
that's true
who
too.
men or
That's
women who fear someone leaving don't behave that way in a relationship.
and that's the
So
thing. I believe women, women cheat on men just as much as men cheat on women. They do. And
not just as much now. Now I don't do that.
okay, okay, I won't say just as much, but when women do cheat, we cheat because not me per se, but women when they do have when they do cheat, they have to have some type of most times to have some type of emotional connection with the guy. Either they've been talking to the guy for a while, either the guy has been comforting them, the guy's been talking to them, making them feel good about themselves, allowing themselves to be a listening ear. So they end up eventually sleeping with them, and that happens. That does happen. So for me, it's like I just wish people just communicate more and be honest. I just wish that people would. I just wish that
Absolutely.
I just wish they would. I wish they'll just be communicate more. I wish they will just do better. Just do better. I like, I love love. I love seeing healthy relationships. I love seeing happy couples. I love seeing happy, whether it be husband and wives, whether it be boyfriend and girlfriends. I love seeing that. I really do. I do see that because I do believe that there are some very healthy relationships out there. There's some really great partners. And, I just wish that more people were like that and stop thinking that, the grass is greener somewhere else and mistreating the people you're with because you mistreat these people you're with and you treat them a certain way, you string them along or whatnot, then when they do meet that person, like they're deserving to be loved, they deserve to be loved. They
Mhm.
shouldn't have to feel, they shouldn't have to, because you mistreated them, go into a possible healthy relationship with these fears of, being mistreated or dragged along or, or trust being broken. No, that's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know why. I think men overall, even women, we have to just do better with our communication and stuff like that. And men need to just, I mean, come on, like I'm like, like I know if I'm dating. Listen, I know if I see a guy, I can look at him before he even opens his mouth if I'm attracted to him or not. I already know. Same way a man looks at a woman and he knows if he's attracted to her or not. Women also know, fellas, I'm gonna be honest. We also know when we look at a guy if we're gonna lead off this guy. We feel that this guy is bed worthy. We know. We can look at the guy and see if he's physically attracted to us. Like we visually see him, we find him sexy or attractive. We go through our quick couple of seconds of analyzing a guy. Would we go to bed with him? We do that. It's normal. It's normal and it's healthy for men and women to do that. Do we act on it? Not all. No. Most times we don't. As women, we don't. Men do, but we don't. But I just feel that I don't know. We waste so much time as couples, and we waste so much time allowing people to find who they need to be with or want to be with because we're just selfish. We're just as human beings. We're just selfish. That's what it
Listen,
is.
at the end of the day,
Yeah,
yes, men do that.
they
Men
do.
men do that for sure, but there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like not. I don't want,
Counting
especially if
woman.
you find me. Listen, if I feel like you have to, people are gonna go through those stages. They're gonna go through those stages in life, and you can't go through it behind closed doors by yourself. You have to,
True.
you have to experience it with a partner. How else are you supposed to grow? When even if you're in a relationship and you with somebody that says to you, hey, how many partners have you had? And that person tells you, oh, I've only been in like two relationships my whole life, and they're like 45. Like that, you're gonna be like, you have zero experience to be in a relationship at that age. You want people to have experience because that's the only way people learn and they grow is if it's sometimes
Yeah, but
go through those experiences. Unfortunately, though, some of those experiences are heartbreak, are pain.
you
You
have to
go
go to
through
that.
those things. You go through the neglect to learn what you don't want in a relationship, to learn what you don't want to accept in a relationship because you've been through that before. That's how you learn through those things. So for me, per se, I don't want my man to treat me the same way he treat all the other bitches. Hell no.
Right.
Absolutely not. You're gonna treat me way different. You're gonna put me on a pedestal, even if, and I'm not saying I condone this, but even if there was cheating going on, you're gonna treat that girl like the side piece she is, and I'm gonna be treated like the queen I am. You know what I'm saying? If I find out there's cheating, then that's a different story. Like it's all hell broke loose. But
Then I have
but
a question for you.
sure,
From the point you just said just now, then why wouldn't he have a conversation with you and let you know, or any man, just say, hey, I was thinking maybe things are a little rough with us, but I don't want to lose you, but I would like to have another friend on the side. You know, I don't want to just do it behind your back, nor do I want to lose you, but I don't want to hurt you by lying to you. Are you okay with it?
of course not.
But what if he wants to do it?
Then you can go do it by yourself. Go be single. Go have fun. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just not a sharer. I don't give. I'm not. I don't agree in hall passes. I'm not like what is that? A hall pass? Like what? No. Hall.
Well, that's that. They had that movie called Whole Pass where people have been together for so long to give them that 1 day pass where they can go do whatever they want for like a day as if they're single.
Okay,
They
that's
can do
fun.
whatever they want.
That's
Yeah, for a
cute.
day. Hmm.
That's cute. Teach his own.
Yeah. I
Just not
mean,
over here.
I
What
think
about
it
you?
all
Would you
boils
do it?
down to, huh?
Would you do it?
What, a whole pass? Give my man a whole pass?
Yeah. Would you do it?
Um, would I give him a whole pass? Would I give him a whole pass? Um, would I give him a whole pass? I might. I might.
You might. Tell me why. I want to know why. Why would you?
Um,
Why would you do that? Why would you be so comfortable sharing your belongings?
it's not see, it's not for me. I don't look at it where it's a matter of sharing. It's for me. I'm comfortable in my own skin. Number one, and any guy I deal with, I would have to have some form of trustive communication. I'm huge on communicating. I'm huge on that. So if I give him a whole pass, him and I are already at that stage in our relationship or our marriage where we talk about any and everything. We've probably experienced things together. We've probably done things together that most couples may not. We've probably, had bondage, whatever it may be. We're at that point. So for me, if I'm with my husband and we already have a solid line of communication and we've probably done some things together and whatnot, and I know how he is, he knows how I am, and we've never had an issue of a trust issue because we communicate, I probably would. And I'll probably take one myself. It wouldn't be just a matter of you take your whole pass. It may be a matter of, all right, we're gonna do this date here. It is August 16th. We're gonna have a whole pass. Deuces, I'll see you the next day. It may not mean something as far as being sexual with somebody. It could just very well mean get on a date. Just might be. Doesn't have to be intimate. But if I agree to that, that means I'm comfortable in my relationship and we're solid. Where we, like I said, we talk, we've probably done things, watched things, you name it. Yeah. Now I would probably say yeah. Hmm.
Okay, I did not expect that. Not gonna lie.
Well, but it's listen, but then again, but remember, you and I talk and we talk deep and how I see certain things. And again, this for me comes from life experiences and understanding who I am, what I like, what I will or will not tolerate. So it comes from growth. Had you asked me this 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I probably said, oh, hell no.
Mm,
I would have said, absolutely not. But
mm,
with maturity experiences, and for me to actually say to you, I know exactly what I like, don't like, what I will or will not accept,
mhm.
and it's not that it's my way or no way, but I've already, and because I've also already experienced having a solid communication with the past friend I had for 3.5+ years is why I knew it's capable. I know that it can happen. That's why.
Mhm.
That's why, because I've already experienced it. Now again, there are some men out there I've tried to date that's a waste of my time. You know that too. Where I'm like, I can't even believe I'm even tolerating this nonsense.
Yeah.
But I've also experienced what it is like to have a true, honest um, communication, unfiltered,
Mhm.
raw,
Mhm.
and it's why I could say yes. Yeah, it's why I could say yes.
Okay.
It wouldn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it would bother the hell out of me. No thanks.
wouldn't care.
Yeah, not for me. I don't. I commend you, girl, because I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't care because for me it'd be like
Wouldn't
not putting
care.
all my business out there, but it's like him and I are already doing things together. Well, at that point we're either watching porn together, we're actually having fantasies together, we're talking about certain stuff where, you know what I'm saying? We can be together and say, hey, look at that girl's booty, and neither one get jealous or offended or have an issue. See what I'm saying? So if he said to me, hey babes, are we doing a whole pass this year? I'm like, oh no, do you want to do it? Nah, I'm cool. All right, cool, we're done. If he may say, I don't know, you want a double date? All right, cool.
Mhm.
Why not? Let's see what it's like. I'm even listen. I have in the past pretended to not know him and go into establishments, and he'll be there and I'll be there and we act like we didn't know each other, and he's seeing someone hitting on me and I'm seeing someone hitting on him. I don't care.
Mhm. Mhm.
It doesn't because I know when we both walk out hand in hand, then
Mhm.
it's a more so like, all right, bye. And we're gonna laugh about it, we're gonna go home, we're gonna talk about it, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
But it's not for everyone. But it also comes to a point, again, of trust, communication, and being honest. Do you know how many people are in relationships that are not even honest with their sexual desires,
Oh
where they
yeah.
pretend to be fulfilled, the man
Uh-huh.
pretend to be happy, the women pretend to be happy? Do you know how difficult that is to be in a relationship and know that every night you lay down with your partner and they're not satisfying you sexually? How
Mhm.
frustrating that has to be. And imagine being married and that's your life for the rest of your life, being stuck,
Yeah, but
unfulfilled.
so what does that mean? That means you just give them a hall pass? It means you ask for a hall
No, it
pass?
doesn't mean giving a whole pass. It means having a conversation. It
Yeah.
means, babes, listen, and that's got to be one of the most difficult conversations to have. And that's why I feel people do cheat, because it's very difficult to tell your partner, babes, I'm not really liking the way how you perform oral sex for me. It doesn't do nothing for me. I've never had an orgasm. And I don't know what we're gonna do. That's gonna hurt a man's ego. That's why most women don't say anything to their partners. They just deal with it, or they fantasize about somebody else just to get through the act.
Very true. Very true.
Happens a lot. Happens a lot. Guys think they're really putting it down, and deep down they putting down nothing. The women's pretending. And then you have men that know, like, okay, she's not pleasing me. I would like for her to dress up, or I would like for her to get a whip and beat me. I would like for her to choke me. Is he comfortable telling his wife he wants that done, or his partner? That's what he likes. He might have a fetish. He may like a little bondage. He might like watching porn. It may really just, it may excite him to the point that he may then blow your mind.
It's comfortability too. A lot of people just aren't secure or, fear being too honest and fear of being judged.
Then why be married and be stuck with somebody like a ball and chain around your ankles
A
for the
lot of
next
people
15 years?
a lot of people don't marry for love. They don't marry for that.
Well, that's the problem right there. And that's why there's so much cheating and so much bad behavior going on in these relationships and stuff, that maybe
Exactly.
they, but you know what? Why not even try? Why not try? Why not just say, hey, can I talk to you? And at least and then tell them, I want to be honest with you. I want us to try something. I want us to try to improve our sex life or our communication. I want you to dress up. I miss seeing you in that fitted dress. I miss seeing you wear
Right.
heels. I
Mhm.
miss you wearing your hair down. I miss us having a date night where we're just, getting it on the kitchen table. Have those conversations. You
Yeah,
have to have
yeah.
them. When you don't have them, it's why there's issues. But if you had those conversations, even come up with the topic of whole pass, You will feel so fulfilled in your relationship because you're communicating on every aspect and every level where you're connected. It wouldn't be a need. See what I'm saying? And whole passes don't always mean sexual intimacy. It just means being in the company of somebody else. It could be a dinner, it could be a conversation, it could be a drive, whatever. But those conversations need to be had. They don't have them. Adults, unfortunately, will couples will talk to anybody else about their desires than to the partner they're with. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You should not be having conversations with a third party about your likes or dislikes or asking a third party, let me see A, B, C, D, or let me see in this dress or these panties or this bra, or let me see this, then the other. If that excites you, male or female, why don't you put the same energy and ask your partner to do that with you? Let your partner know this is what turns you on. That in itself would actually save your family than you going out there looking for someone else, thinking the grass is greener, or you're not getting fulfilled and you're pretending, and then what? You lose your entire family for what?
I mean, what if you told your partner and your partner's not into it? They're not with it. Then what?
Okay, then you let her know. Then you be honest and him and her know. Say, listen,
I'm gonna
I
go cheat.
come to you. I don't want to lose you. I do not want to cheat on you. I need to tell you how I'm feeling. It's very serious. Let's go to counseling. I've already been invested 10 years and I just don't want to pretend anymore and be somebody I know I'm not. It's killing me inside. And if they don't respect it, then it's going to have to be a decision or sleep in separate rooms. If they still want to, they have young kids, then you stay together for the sake of the kids and you live separate lives. But at least one thing that person can't say is that you cheated on them or you took their trust away. You know what I'm saying? Or you humiliated them. You came to them and talked to them. They were the first person you communicated with about how you feel, not some random, not a friend. You went to your partner and said, this is how I'm feeling. I need you to hear me. This is what I feel that can improve how I'm feeling. Can you help me out? Can we go to counseling? If you've tried the steps and your partner still does not, after you've done the right thing, after that is, oh, listen, after that is, listen, do what you want to do at that point because you tried. That's how
Right.
I feel. They can't accuse you of lying, right? They can't say you betrayed them. They can't say you said, you did something behind their back. You were honest, right?
Yeah.
Try it. Most people are afraid to be honest. Be honest. Be honest and tell your partner exactly how you feel. Stop reaching out for third parties and speaking to them about your desires, about your inner feelings, about your wants and your needs. That's why you have a girlfriend, a husband, a wife. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have a significant other. That's why you share your life with somebody. Talk to them. Stop seeking comfort outside of the marriage or the relationship. Seek comfort within that and talk to your partner.
Hmm.
Why have a significant partner if you can't talk to them about your deepest desires, your fantasies, your feelings? Come on. Why are you with them?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Because what you're doing at that point is you're giving that third outside person all this ammunition about your significant other. See what I'm saying? You're
I
going
was
out.
watching this show the other day, last night actually. I don't know if you saw it. It's a show on Netflix called Love Is Blind,
No, I haven't seen
and
it.
you never saw it.
No,
Oh, it's a really cute show. You should watch it.
really? On Netflix? I did. I'll watch it
Mhm.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
They have a few episodes that just recently aired, and it's pretty much after the aisle, like after they got married, after the season aired, like
Mm-hmm.
2 years later, where are they now? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There was this one couple that they decided to not get married at the altar. The guy was like, I'm not ready yet. I don't want to marry you yet. I love you, but don't want to marry you. So they decided to still date. So they've been dating for the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
This guy ended up meeting a new girl 4 months ago who is now his friend. He's
Mm-hmm.
been venting to her about his relationship with the 2-year girl. They went out to lunch
Mm-hmm.
while he was venting. He pulled up in his little Porsche, excuse me, and he
I
says, "Hey,
caught I caught
beautiful."
that, Crystal.
Okay, he says, "Hey, beautiful." She's like, "Hey, cutie pie." He's like, "I'm gonna go park. Be right back." First of all,
That's a
that
problem.
first part, I was like, "Hold up, what
Yeah.
relationship? Like, excuse me, beautiful cutie pie."
Yeah, that in itself, you're too, that's a problem. You're too comfortable.
Strike
Yeah,
one. Strike
yeah.
one. They sit down to eat. She's
Mhm.
like, you know, she's like, oh well, you look so handsome today. You look very nice. You're such a good guy. You're a
Yeah.
great catch. I'm not sure why she's being so mean to you. I can never see you being an asshole. It's like, girl, how do you even know? Like, first of all, and why are you even flirting with him? And he's in a relationship. Then this idiot brings the girl to the anniversary party. They had a 2-year anniversary party of the episode,
Mhm.
and he brings her to the anniversary party for what the 2-year girlfriend is at the same party,
Mhm.
and proceeds to ignore his girlfriend and parades this new girl around the entire party. Then decides to leave. So his girlfriend sees him leaving and is like, "You're gonna just leave and not say nothing to me?"
Mhm.
So then the other girl and the girlfriend decides to go by the bar to have a conversation. And in the conversation, the girl is trying to tell her, like, if you go off and be with another man, he's not gonna stop you. He's gonna be happy for you. He don't want you to be happy. You don't want him to be happy with anybody else. So she was like, with you? Aren't you supposed to be his friend? So yeah, that's a great reason why, or a testament to what you just said, basically about you can't be going out to your relationship gossiping, especially to the opposite
Well,
sex
that's what I say. They
about your
say,
relationship.
and that's what a lot of men do, and that's where they fall wrong. See, what happens is that
I would disagree. I think a lot of women do that.
no, see, for a man, when a man's angry at his partner, and he finds a woman that listens, what they fail to realize is the woman's gonna listen and be very attentive to exactly what he's saying, and it's gonna run his mouth. And the woman's going to eventually start asking those inappropriate questions. But how is she in the bed? Does she please you? Does she do this? Does she do that? And whatnot? And the man's going to end up talking because he feels now that he could trust this third person. He can feel that, she's listening to him. She's giving him the attention he wants. She is, giving him compliments. She's making him feel like a man. She's making him feel good about himself. But all she's doing is doing homework. See, she's doing homework to find out exactly how she can reel him in away from the partner if he is something that she feels that is worth catching. It may be money, maybe the car, maybe whatever it is. But just trying to find a little opening where she can kind of slide in. At that point right there, that's that man's fault. See, men talk too much to women about their personal business, and especially when they don't know the woman. They feel they can trust them. And what they don't know is that when they start talking about intimate details about their relationship, their significant other, their partner, their wife, these women they're talking to, these slides take this information and they use this information against the woman. So now you're going to giving her all this ammunition against your partner, your family. So when you do get caught, because eventually you will get caught at some point, or you may realize, oh, you know what? Let me just stop talking to this woman. She's now going to threaten you and hold over your head everything you've said about her, your children, your life, your family. Who knows what? She may even pop up at the kid's school, pop up at your house. That's what happens.
Oh Lord, yeah.
It does happen. Listen, I know of a young lady, and I mentioned to you about the story before, how where she worked where she worked, a gentleman there worked with her, and she was sleeping with him. Now, what he would do, he would come and see her after 11 p.m. at night. She was aware that he had a child and a girl. He would come and see her after 11. And then eventually, throughout the moments of what they're having, their little private moments, he would make statements, little bedroom talk. If you ever had a child for me, blah, 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 be a pretty baby, that type of nonsense. Eventually, what do you think happened? This woman gets pregnant. He now was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, remember what you said now. You be happy. We have a beautiful baby, right? He in turn was like, no, 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 no. That's not part of it. And he panics. And then she finds out later on that she wasn't the only one he was sleeping with. He was sleeping with another young lady in another department. So he was sleeping with two women, two other women, while he was already with someone, living with somebody, and they had a child together.
Wow.
So this lady, but it gets better. So this lady decides to have her child and then gets upset because he doesn't come around. She in turn went on Facebook on his social handles and searched to find out who is part of his family and sent a picture of the baby to all the family members of this man.
Oh
Let
wow.
them know he has a child.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like that. All right.
yeah. I mean, come on, really?
Mhm. Mhm.
Now he got what he deserved,
Yeah,
but
cuz
but the point is though, but the point is though, both parties got what they deserved. You know
mhm.
why? She knew the situation that he was in, and she thought she was getting one over on his girl. See what I'm saying? He knew what the situation was and what he was doing coming over there after 11 o'clock at night all the time. He knew what he was doing. So, how I see it, they both got what they deserve, right? They're both playing
Absolutely.
games,
You're right. You're right.
both playing each other, one trying to outdo the other one, right? The unfortunate part is there's a baby involved now. Does the baby deserve to be part of this nonsense? No. But the baby's here now. And that comes from what? Him just trying to look for other things. Like, come on, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Everyone's gonna take accountable for their actions. They have to. It's just crazy,
Wow.
crazy.
But I agree. I agree with you. Everybody has to be accountable for their own actions, you know?
And it's gonna be a communication. You have to talk. You have to talk. You have to be honest,
Yeah.
and you gotta take accountability. And it starts. You have to listen. As scared as you may be in telling your partner how you feel about situations, is doing the right thing. You have to do the right thing, man. I'm a strong believer of doing the right thing, even if doing the right thing may mean you may temporarily hurt someone's feelings. I would rather hurt someone's feelings with good intentions of being honest than to hurt someone's feelings with ill intentions and it's gonna really damage them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. I don't ever want to be the
Yeah.
reason where my actions have caused pain to someone
Mhm.
where that pain is now carrying with them for the rest of their life. I don't want to be that individual.
Mhm.
I don't want to be that person. I don't ever want to be that person. That type of pain hurts. But yeah, that's my view on that. Yeah.
What do you think your takeaway was for tonight?
Okay. One, your status of if you are or not vaccinated is your business, your family's business. No one has any right to ask you anything or make you feel a certain way. That's the first one. And two, when it comes to relationships, you find yourself in a situation where you wanted more from your partner and you don't feel as if they're giving you and you're trying to figure out why, or you try to change yourself. Don't change who you are. Don't change who you are, because it may not even make a difference if you change who you are. Don't do that. But my takeaway from that is you find yourself in a relationship for quite a while and it's not going anywhere and you're unhappy, maybe it's time to make a decision. And then the third takeaway was, I don't feel all whole passes are bad. I don't, but I believe before a whole pass, you should have a solid conversation or be in a solid relationship where you guys have a very strong communication between the two of you before you even think about doing anything like that, because you may open up Pandora's box. That's what I feel about that as well. And don't do anything to people that you don't want done to you. Is the final one. Don't do that. Be kind. Don't be the reason why someone carries trauma for the rest of their life because of your actions. Don't be that person. Yeah, that's my takeaway.
Okay. I like that. I like it.
And yours?
Well, mine was mine's I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Mine is just simply to each his own.
True.
Like with every part of the topic that we touched on today, I think that just resonates well with all of them. To each his
Hmm.
own. Everyone is different. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. The bottom line is, communication. We all have to communicate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody has to communicate, and that's open and honest communication. And
Hmm.
I think that's just it for me. To each his own.
And
Respect
be
everybody.
happy.
And then also not to judge people. To each
Yes,
his own also means not to judge other
I
people for
agree.
who they are.
Yep,
Just let everybody be who they are, and whether you accept it or not, you just choose not to be around that if you don't accept it. Bottom line.
yep. You can always remove yourself from a situation.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was my takeaway. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Subscribe, like, and share, and drop those comments in. We would love to hear what you guys think of this episode on each and every single topic. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon. We're all over the place. Check us out on our website, www.straighttalknobs.com. We have some fun, exciting things coming up this summer, this winter, and this fall. So stay locked in. It's your girl, Chris, and we'll see you here, same place, same time next week. Peace.
Bye.